transmission filter. This is the gasket for the transmission pan. We'll be changing the transmission oil cooler filter. I'll also be changing the transmission cooler, and we'll be adding a radiator to it to help support and cool the transmission fluid, because the car's stock radiator really sucks at cooling the transmission oil. And we'll be changing, of course, we'll be doing a real flush. We've got 10 quarts of CVTF Idemitsu Type N for this car. We'll be using a pump to push the old fluid out and add in the new fluid. So let's get started. So to install the new cooler, we're gonna have to remove the front bumper here. You got a couple of these plastic rivets, or whatever you call it. You gotta remove those. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up on top. You've also got these star bits on each side. There's 2 of them. It is a T20. After you remove all those, the bumper could just pull it out, just pop it out. Let me show you. Now the bumper should pop right out, just like that. See? Easy. And I can pull this out. Alright, so before we remove this bolt, I would say to start the car up for like 10-15 minutes so that the transmission fluid is nice and warm. It's a 19mm. Out. There might be fluid coming out right away or not. There's also another screw that we have to remove inside here. So, all right, you guys, now get an Allen key. It's a number 5. Stick it in there. Okay, see? There we go. Don't forget there's also a washer for the drain bolt. Just let that finish draining. So let's put this drain bolt back temporarily, because now we're going to remove the pan. Alright, you've got 10mm around the pan. So now, let's see the damage that's been done inside. Look at that. Look at all these metal shavings inside. It is seriously one of the worst CVT designs ever. Alright, so let's clean up the pan here. First, let's take out these magnets with all the metal shavings. Holy crap, look at that. Yeah. Clean that up. Clean this up. Alright you guys, now let's remove the transmission filter. It's got 3 screws, 10 millimeters, 2, and 3. There we go. So now we're going to measure how many quarts we took out. Looks like it's about 4 quarts. Alright, now let's clean it up with some brake cleaner. Let's also clean the pan here. So now that the pan's nice and clean, let's put the magnet back on. The other one goes right here. Cool. Here's our new transmission filter. There's an O-ring that goes right here. Don't forget that. Let's put this back in. Make sure to wipe around the edges where the gasket is going to go. Make sure that is super dry and clean. Let's put our gasket on here. If I can figure out how this goes. Line up the holes. Alright, don't forget to put this back. So let's remove this drain bolt. There we go. Next thing we're going to do is replace the transmission cooler filter that is on the driver's side. You're going to have to remove this retainer clip here. It goes right there. Just remove that. You can move this to the side. There is one bolt right there, 10 millimeter, that needs to be removed. Let's do that. Remove that out. See this part here? You gotta push that down. Watch. See? So after you push that down, you can pull this guy out. Just wiggle it. And here's the filter. Sometimes this rubber grommet thing gets stuck in there, so make sure it's not stuck inside there. Put in the new filter. Just press it in so it's nice and snug. Alright, let's put this back. Don't forget to clean this. Just get some brake cleaner, get some paper towels. Push this all the way in and turn it to the right. There you go. There. So this part locks into here. Cool. Now we put our 10mm freaking screw back on. And there we go. We are done with the transmission cooler filter. Next is replacing the actual transmission cooler. Let me show you guys what it is. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be replacing that guy, the transmission cooler. There are 4 hoses that are connected to it. We're going to have to disconnect those. And it is held on by 4 screws. There's 1, 2, and then 2 more in the other corners. Let me show you. Here's how it looks like. It's like this inside. So you've got 4 screws on the corners to remove. First, we're going to remove the 4 hoses. Alright, you guys, to get to the cooler, you have to remove the battery and then this whole area right here, the battery plate. Number 10 right here. Number 13, 1, 2, 3, 4. 10mm bolt inside. I'm gonna take this box out. These tabs just pull out and then you can lift it up. There's a ground here, 10mm, that's connected to the battery plate. Remove that. Remove this guy from here. Remove this out. Push down right here in the middle. And then lift it up. Pull that out. And let's get this plate out. Alright. So here's the coolant line that goes into the cooler. We've already removed that. Alright, so after you've removed all 4 hoses, this first screw here can be accessed from the bottom. You just stick this in here and get that out. It's a 10 millimeter, there's 4 10 millimeters. So let's get those 4 out. Alright guys, so the bottom 2 screws can be removed from the bottom, and the top 2 screws have to be removed from the top. It was pretty hard, and then you have to, this thing squeezes out, so you could actually pull it out from the top. It doesn't have any room to come out from the bottom unless you know, remove the radiator and the bumper and the framing and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty hard to get out. It's crazy. And we're gonna install the new one. Alright you guys, so I've managed to squeeze it from the top. Here it is down here. And it sucks that I couldn't really show you guys because it's like dark. But yeah, you just squeeze it through here little by little, you know. Work around these cables. You got a little obstacle that you got to go through, but you'll get it down there. And once it's there, we just got to screw back in those 4 screws. So 2 of them on top will screw from up here, and the other 2 at the bottom you screw from under the car. Alright, so I've poured 4 quarts of this stuff into here because that was the amount that we took out earlier, and we don't want the transmission to be running dry, so let's put back 4 quarts. Alright you guys, here's how the transmission flush is going to work. Remove the hose that was connected here, which was this hose. This hose was originally connected here. It was originally connected there. So remove that, put that into a bucket, because this is where the transmission fluid is going to come out. Alright you guys, pump is connected to a 12-volt battery. That is new transmission fluid. We're going to be sucking in new transmission fluid into there, and from here, this is where the transmission fluid is going to come out after it passes through the radiator. We'll be exchanging about 5 quarts. Let's do. Okay. Yeah, just start. Okay, stop, stop. Alright, you guys, we are almost done here. The last thing we got to do is install this radiator for the cooler. So how it's gonna work is the hose that was coming out, I'm gonna connect that to the bottom here. That'll run through here. And then we will take this hose off, the return hose, and we're gonna cut it and we're gonna put it here. And the radiator, this one, we are going to mount it right in the front, right on top of the other one. So let's do that. Alright you guys, I finally fucking got it on. We got the in coming here, out going on top. I am going to install this right here. And the way we do that is by these guys. Just like that. And we'll stick this through here. So these are kind of like zip ties, then put these on here. And it should lock it. I think. Or not. Yeah. And they have these little circle lock things. I think they lock. I think this is what it's for. Oh yeah, that shit's locked. That shit's locked, my friend. Or I could just leave them under here. Yeah, I'll just put them under. Alright, we're done. Let's put everything back together. Alright, you guys. The final and last thing to do is to check the level of the transmission fluid. And the way to do that is, so we need to start the car, let everything warm for about 10-15 minutes. And then we're gonna take this drain plug out. And we're gonna let everything come out until it starts dripping. If it's not dripping, that means there's not enough fluid, so we're gonna have to top it off. But let's start the car first and warm it up and see what happens. So now that the car is warmed up, take off the drain while the car is on. So we don't have anything dripping. That means we gotta add a little bit more fluid. So yes, add more transmission fluid until it starts dripping. I'm gonna do that right now. You stay down here and watch this. There you go. So now that it's starting to drip, we can close it. Cool. Remember, you want the fluid to be dripping out a little bit, not coming out like a stream. If it's coming out like a stream, that means there's too much fluid. So let all the fluid come out until it starts dripping, and then close it up, and you're good to go. Alright, you guys, so that completes the transmission flush. Changing the transmission filter, the transmission pan gasket, the transmission cooler filter, and also changing the transmission cooler, and also adding a little radiator in the front of the car. Yeah, that is it for this little project. I'm gonna put everything back, you know, the bumpers, and I'm gonna take it for a little test drive. But that's it for now, guys. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe below. I will be posting more videos this year. It's been taking me a while. I've been really busy, but I'm getting to it, guys. Thanks again.